Garten of Banban 2 released on March 3rd, 2023, less than 2 months after the release of the first game. That seems a little too quick to release the sequel, however, it isn't completely out of the ordinary. Hell, there was only a 3-month gap in between the release of the first and second FNAF games, and also considering the fact that the first game was pretty short and didn't have much to it, it makes sense that the second part would release shortly after in order to maintain the hype. Anyway, this game starts in a pretty similar way to the first, where you have to click on a clock to jump through the time of the camera footage, this time in a party room with a birthday happening, which is cool and does give me FNAF 2 vibes with the happy birthday decorations and the emptiness. Moving on to the gameplay, it begins where the game last left off, with us in the bottom of a now broken elevator and Jumbo Josh crushed underneath. I'm going to assume he's dead for now, but like the bird, I'm sure he'll come back to murder me, so I grab the orange keycard and continue on my way. This leads me to the bridge where I can go to the 3 different areas, and I also find a note detailing a poor soul's adventure in this hellscape. These notes are really disturbing as we see the writer's hope and sanity break down with each one, and I think they're a really neat addition. Following down the first room leads me to an area with some chicken scratch all over the walls about a spider in a desperate attempt to fend off said spider with those tables, presumably the ones that went missing in the starting cutscene. In this room we are introduced to said creature staring at you in the doorway before slinking off like the bird. This thing does have a name, but it's not told to us until game 3, so for now I'll refer to it as the spider. After accessing the next room, we are introduced to the first voice we've heard in this place. A former worker, seemingly trapped inside the surveillance room, and we need to give him a hand. Now, it's comforting to hear another person's voice. However, this is giving me serious Traeger vibes from Outlast, and I'm hopeful this isn't another fake out situation. We are also introduced to some more drawings of other Banban gang members who will meet as we go along, as well as being reunited with our drone friend after finding a new antenna for our remote. There are also these case files which document these creatures, suggesting this kindergarten was actually just a front for some SCP-style laboratory containment facility, with this one detailing something known as the Devil. We can now do a puzzle putting the employees' names in order, which gives us access to the maintenance room so we can find what we're looking for to free our friend. Once inside, we're given the keycard, but we're also treated to a maze where we must follow the directions given to us at the end to go back to the main hub without being caught by the spider. The blue arrows are meant to be followed, and the pink arrows lead you to dead ends where the spider will jump scare you from the ceiling, so go the opposite way on them and you're in the clear. I died a couple times here, mainly because I'm a moron and I've never paid attention to the signs.
Oh no, that one you follow! You follow the blue!
We're off to a good start. I also find a videotape in the room, which when played on the TV in the main hub shows footage of the devil creature just lying on the floor bunched up in the middle of an empty room, which just raises all sorts of questions. Never mind that now, I got the blue keycard, and here I come mate, and oh, it's just a room with a piece of paper, which upon reading the paper foretells my fate as I'm hit over the head with a devil creature. This is Banban, the main character and the one we've been speaking to over the intercom the whole time. So yeah, it's exactly like Traeger, so now I hate him. He tells us thanks for the keycard and to Napoli prepares for a surgery, so I guess I'll take his advice and pass out on the floor. We awaken in this warehouse looking room where after using our drone to complete a puzzle involving hitting X's on the wall to hit the buttons, we're able to advance up to another elevator to another uncanny room with forest drawings all over the wall. Though this gives me more of the vibe of a dentist or a hospital rather than a kindergarten. This is because we're now in the medical sector, one of the other rooms at the start but wasn't accessible yet. In this area there are a bunch of different coloured corpses scattered all over the place. These are, or were, Captain Fiddles, or at least part of his gang, as the original light blue version isn't actually amongst these corpses. In this area, through a diagram, we are told to collect their juices, or givanium. Oh, I should also explain what givanium is. Givanium's like this nuclear waste which I believe gives these creatures life, as the case files revealed that Banban himself is part givanium, and there were barrels scattered throughout the games of the stuff. Anyway, we were given a syringe to extract the stuff, but one, the teal coloured one, has to be distracted before we can extract it because not only is he alive, but he's also fucking huge and taking up an entire room. But once we hit him in the eye with the drone, we were able to get a sample and fill the beaker. This gives us access to a firework, which we can then fire out of a cannon and blow the teal one to smithereens, meaning that we can go inside the room he was in, as well as progress into the room he was blocking, gaining the pink keycard. Making our way back onto the bridge, we're introduced to, in my opinion, the most mysterious character in the entire series, Zolphius. Oh, there's a blue trail.
Yeah, hold on, but look back.
Oh, that door's open. Oh, what is that? Hi. Is that just part of the backdrop?
He's just a dude.
He is literally a giant face on top of a long neck in this game, and he just rises from the abyss and stares at you, and that's it. He appears more in the coming games, but he's such an oddity, I don't even know what to think of him. He doesn't even attack you, he just watches you. It's honestly really disturbing, and so far the scariest monster in the game. Either way, we can progress into the testing sector, where after some more button presses, we are introduced to a very long rainbow hallway, where at the end there are some very useful instructions for later about snail attacks and some more buttons at the end. Once we press them, the door opens, and I fucking knew it. Yes, the Appealer bird is back and survived from the drop from the first game, and now wants you dead. This is also a scene that caught me off guard, as you just see its red eyes glowing in the darkness before it lunges at you. Whilst being chased, another voice tells me to run into a room with her, and I know I got tricked like 20 minutes ago by one of these monsters, but against my better judgment, I listen to her and dash into the room, closing the door behind me so the bird can't get me. The person helping us this time is Bambalina, a white female Banban-like creature who tells us to get back into class, where she leads us into a classroom. I am a rebellious student, however, and attempt an escape, but she's quicker than she looks. I decide to stay for her lessons, and that leads to the most infuriating part of the game. You have to answer 3 questions of each of the 3 subjects by hitting one of the 4 tape recorders. Get it right and you advance. Get it wrong and you die. The annoying thing is that you don't even know what's on the tape recorders, so you don't know what the answers are going to be at the start. So it's almost like trial and error to get through it in the beginning, and unless you are lucky or have a walkthrough, you are going to die a couple times at least on this bit. They did add little descriptors to each of the answers before you press them to give you a slight hint, but it doesn't really help when you have Smart Kid and Really Smart Kid on the same table. After the first lesson, which is math, we get a lunch break where we can do a little puzzle with the other classmates in order to unlock some stuff to help us get through the next lesson. We progress through the next 2 lessons and Bambalina gets distracted, which gives me the opportunity to escape this bullshit guessing game, and we end up in a forest with these little fuckers. These are Apelia chicks, little creatures that are the spawn of the bird. As you can see, there is another version of the bird with blue feathers, however, we will meet this one's bigger version later on. After collecting all the chicks and placing them in the nest, we open the door to escape, which leads us back into the main hallway, only this time we are not alone. This is SlothCeline, a giant snail who, if we remember back in our earlier trek through this hallway, had instructions on how to beat her. However, since my memory is that of a house brick, I die on my first attempt before realising you're supposed to stay still when she's staring at you, and then run when she's looking in other directions. Getting enough distance between me and her, I was able to slink into a side room where I'm treated to another change of scenery, the beach. After collecting 8 shells and receiving the green keycard, I do the firework cannon puzzle in record time. In all seriousness, I'm actually surprised I was able to do this puzzle in 2 tries, as you are supposed to hit the buttons with fireworks before the time runs out, completing 3 rounds where they add another button to press with each round. Also, you have to jump up high and low, as occasionally there'll be a button to press low on one end and then a button to press high on another end. Anyway, with that being done, I make it through to what is probably my greatest nemesis so far in the series, the platforms. I'm not lying to you, I got stuck on this parkour bit for what felt like an eternity, and what's worse is that in one of my first attempts, I was 1 jump away from completing it.
Alright, last big jump.
No! Oh! Right, no, we're actually done. No. We're out of the game. We're done.
I can hear Ty cry in the other room.
Oh.
We're done. After many tries, I successfully navigated Purgatory, and now I'm treated to a wedding cake? Oh, and goddammit, it's Banban. He tells me I know I'm here to find my children, which means our protagonist here is a parent searching for their missing child, so it's nice to have a conclusive answer to our protagonist's motives. We don't really have time to dwell on this, however, as Banban alerts us that we need to run as the doors to the room open, not only showing that Bambalina has caught up to us, but also that Jumbo Josh has survived and is pissed. After a chase scene cloaked in red lights and screaming alien to me for some reason, we managed to trick Josh into fucking smashing Bambalina as she's dragged away by the brick green drying and drops the key card, which means we can open the door, revealing an elevator down and some writing on the wall telling us not to go down. Yeah, well, I'm not trusting anyone in this place anymore, so I ignore it, get on the elevator, and end the game on a teaser to part 3 with a cool kid in the naughty corner. And that's part 2, and honestly, it was kind of decent. I liked the new characters introduced, them having dialogue, and them seeming more human and less monster-like than the others. I also liked that some of the puzzles were decent, and there was a good amount of mystery and lore to unpack it. Some of the puzzles, however, were kind of annoying, and that whole classroom scene can get in the bin, but overall, a solid 8 out of 10. A good sequel, and it built upon the original very well. It just needs some more refinement, which hopefully we'll find in part 3.